Hey guys, Mike Craig here. I wanted to spend a few minutes talking to you a little bit about sharpening your promoting skills, but more importantly, focusing on the three-way phone call. How do we use it? When is it appropriate to use? How does it fit into that tool belt that we've been talking about? And some of the things that we should be using. The great thing about our business is that we don't have to do everything ourselves. Rule one, obviously, don't be a tool. Just use them, right? Learn how to redirect, be the traffic cop, meaning when information comes your way, questions come your way, there's always somewhere you can turn to get someone the right answers in the information. This is just a quick recap. You guys have gone through this before, but just remember, your team is always going to do what you do. So just make sure that you use the tools. And more importantly, when you're starting a business like this, you're probably well into your week 2 in your business. To remember that be intelligently unintelligent. All that really means is that, hey, you don't have to know everything. That's not the plan here. The plan here is to earn while you learn and use the tools effectively and leverage the business. That's one of the great things about what we do as a company. So make sure that you're out there using the tools. You've probably gotten to this point by using these tools, by sending somebody to a video or sending to them to a website or whatever the case is, using the tools so you don't have to be one. So obviously the fortune here is in the follow-up. Most people won't join right away, whether it's a customer, whether it's a promoter, whatever the case may be. The information you've got them for is nothing more than just a way to get them to the next step of more information. So don't get frustrated. Be persistent. This is an opportunity. Every time somebody always assume that somebody's ready for the next tool, meaning they always want to get more information, until they feel comfortable enough that they've gotten all the education they need to make an appropriate decision. May take 3 to 7 exposures. Just remember that what if they say no, it may not be a no, and you can ask them, is this a no for now, or is this a no forever? And really what I wanted to focus in on today was the tool of the three-way phone call, because a lot of people will get stuck here. This is where most people fumble. This is where they get stuck, because a lot of times when you're talking to your friends, your family, your acquaintances, and they have questions, this is where the natural tendency for you is to want to go in there and answer all this stuff for them. You want to be the expert right away, because we've grown up in a society, especially in the business world, where if we don't know everything about what we do and being the expert in our business, then we can't move forward. We will look silly in front of our friends if we don't know all the answers. The reality is, guys, this business is much different than that. You don't want to try to be the expert all the time. You want to be intelligently unintelligent, like we said before, and you want to use that three-way phone call is probably one of the most vital tools that you've got in your tool belt, and one of the most probably underutilized. And so if you can get your arms wrapped around this and you really leverage this, you're going to do very, very, very well. So what does this really mean? What does a three-way phone call mean? It's just nothing more than putting a third party on the phone with somebody when you can't move them forward, period. When you feel a little bit, not friction maybe, but you're stuck and you don't know what to do next with this particular person, whether they're in person, whether they're on the phone. You maybe gotten them some information, but they're not ready yet. And you can sense they're not ready yet. Now, if you feel that you have to push them to get ready, you're moving too fast and you're trying too hard. You're being the tools as opposed to using the tools at this point. So here's where I want you to use this tool is the three-way phone call is using it when you just can't move somebody forward anymore. And so the great thing is you've got plenty of people available to help you with this. And there's plenty of experts in your business. Now, here's the great thing is the definition of an expert really is anybody that's been in this business longer than you. That's it. So it could be somebody that got in the business 2 weeks prior to you. That could be the expert because they got 2 weeks more of education, information, mentorship, training, 2 weeks worth more than you. That's an expert, especially to your prospect. Your prospect knows zero. So now here's the interesting part. Most of the time, your prospects are somebody you know. They're an acquaintance, they're a family member, they're a friend, they're a neighbor, and they know you, and they have trust with you. That's why you're having the conversation. And they might like you or they may love you. But that doesn't mean they have a total amount of respect for you when it comes to health and wellness, losing weight, gaining muscle, building a business, those types of things. And because that's what they're going to want to look for. And at the end of the day, your relationship that you have with your friends or that prospect, they know your past, they know your history, they're more social with you, and it's very hard to get to this point and have your friends sometimes, or your family members sometimes, take you seriously when it comes to doing these things, when they know you're not the expert in it. So they might listen to you, but they don't take you as seriously. So we've got to move that expert in to be able to leverage that person so they can do the heavy lifting for us. So so what we really need to do is position this properly, and then we put the expert in place of you to answer any of their questions that they may have. The key is we've got to promote the expert properly. We're going to talk a little bit about that, because if we promote the expert properly with your prospect that you have trust with, and promoting them properly is relating, and knowing that and that person that we're going to be talking about knows the information, they can relate to the prospect, and they can move them a little bit forward. Why? Because there's somebody other than you. That's really what it comes down to. It's just a new voice. Sometimes sometimes that expert might tell your friend or prospect the exact same thing that you would have told them, but because it came from them, believe it or not, because they're a stranger or they're the perceived expert, your prospect is going to listen to them more than they're going to listen to you. I know what you're thinking. That is bizarre. My friends listen to me. I have control over this. They're my friends. I've got it. I can handle this. Guys, I've done that. I've tried that years and years and years, and it was one of the hardest things for me to overcome. And when you finally realize you go through this process, you're going to hear the expert talk, and they're going to say the same things to the prospect, and maybe the same things you would have told them, and your prospect is going to have a totally different perspective and outlook hearing it from them as opposed to hearing it from you. It is absolutely bizarre, but it's the psychology around how it works. So don't fight it, just use it. So how do we properly promote the expert? I know you've went through your lesson with your upline leader on how to promote. I'm going to go through that real quickly once again, because I think it's really, really important for you guys. It's simple. Basically, remember this: tell a fact, tell another fact, and then come from the heart when you're promoting that particular that expert to your friend or prospect. Here's an example. Hey, Susie's one, you're going to love her. She's one of the company's newest area directors. She's leading a new strong team of customers and promoters, and she's an amazing woman. She's a mother and she's a wife. You're going to love her. Hold on, let me get you on the phone. If anything else, what you're doing is you're just relating a fact about her. Hey, Susie's one of the newest area directors. The prospect has no idea what that means, but it sounds pretty important. She's leading a new strong team of customers and promoters, which is another fact that says to that particular person, wow, she must be doing well and she knows what she's doing. She's an amazing woman. She's a mother and a wife, so she must be a loving person. She's probably and you're going to love her. It's just one of those things where it ties in the facts that she knows what she's talking about, and more as well as she's a strong woman and cares a lot for other people. That's basically what we're trying to do here. So look, what I want to talk about here is how to do it and how to do it right. Right? There's things you to make the three-way phone call happen and be as effective for you. There are some things you want to know. There are some do's. There are some don'ts. One of the things you want to do is maybe have your upline on the phone call when you are linking in that guest. So as opposed to making it awkward, there's a couple things you can do. You can call the expert, your upline support, tell them a little bit about your guest that you're putting them on the phone with. It's important because the expert needs to be able to try to relate to that person as much as possible. How do you know this person? What's their name? What information have you given them so far? What tools have they been to? Are we just trying? And what party are we wanting to put them in? Right? Because a lot of times the focus of the expert is to move them forward, and a lot of times 9 out of 10. Moving them forward means we're trying to move them into a VIP rewards party, or move them into a challenge party, or move them into a neon party, move them into a party. Why? Because at the end of that party, we feel confident that they'll have all the information they need to make an educated decision. And now sometimes they may have been through all the information, and this three-way phone call is used to get them to make a decision. And that's okay too. So, but let your upline expert know, hey, this is where the person is. This is what I've got them listened to so far. Here's what I'm feeling from them. Here's maybe some of the questions they've got. Tell them as much as you possibly can before they get on the call. Link in the guest. Promote the guest properly, like we just talked about before. Use the fact heart. Use that for the upline. When you're promoting the guest to the upline, it's important that you make a nice introduction. Well, you got the expert on the phone, you got you on the phone, and then you've got your friend or guest. Hey, if I'm the one initiating the three-way phone call, and I'm calling my expert, I've linked in my guest. I'm going to say a little bit about Fact Heart with my for my expert, and then I'm going to connect and introduce the guest as, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Expert, this is my friend John. Great guy. Saw the information, told him a lot about you. He's a really good friend of mine. Or hey, I work with him. I'm very anxious to connect you guys together. Now, when it says promote the guest, here's one of the things that you do. Here's what you do not want to do. I've heard this happen before on multiple calls, where you're actually on the three-way phone call and you're promoting the upline expert. And you're promoting the upline expert to give them the authority and build respect for them to the point where the guest is really is looking up to that upline expert. They're going to listen to what they have to say. A lot of times I've heard people promote the guest more than they're promoting the upline expert, which is kind of bizarre. It sounds something like this. Hey, upline expert, you're going to love my buddy John. My buddy John is the most successful guy I know. He's made a ton of money. He everything he turns touches the gold. Everybody listens to what this guy says. I mean, he knows everything about everything. And basically what's happening is you're building the guest up so much to the point where now he's the expert on the phone, and he's not going to listen to a word the real expert about the business is going to say. So make sure that you're just taking notes on this, because believe it or not, it does happen. Okay, so when you make that connection and you've properly promoted the upline expert and introduced the guest, then you basically stay muted. Put your phone on mute. When you connect, hey, Joe, I'm so glad you're on the phone. After I promoted Susie, this is John, this is Susie. Then back out of the call and let the upline expert do what they do best, and they will handle that. Stay muted and take notes. Stay muted and take notes. Why? Because you want to learn. You're going to want to learn because basically you're going to be the upline expert in the next week to 2 weeks, and you're going to be doing these phone calls with your team in this process that we're learning right now. So the best way to learn is you to make the connection and then step back, take notes, stay muted. Only speak when asked. So if the expert asks a question, obviously take yourself off mute and speak. If they don't ask, please don't step in and interrupt what's happening. Everything that's happening right now is happening for a reason. Only thing that you could be doing right now by you unmuting and saying something is going to take this down the wrong path and will hurt the call altogether. So, and I've heard this before. We're trying to do a three-way phone call. We're getting further along the phone, and then hear somebody, hey, wait, hey, tell them about this one. Hey, Mike, make sure you tell John about this, or what about this? And it's really distracting and unprofessional. So make sure you just stay muted, take notes, only speak when asked, and the dead silence is deliberate. Meaning, when the upline expert is doing their job, they're moving them forward. That was the reason for the tool. That was the reason for this leverage. And let the upline expert do their job. And sometimes the expert will say, "Okay, John. So sounds like we hit it off. I love where we're at right now in the conversation. Can you make it over to Susie's house at 7 o'clock on Thursday night for the party? Love to be able to get you the remainder of the information based on our conversation." Dead silence. And the reason is dead silence. We're waiting for that person to answer the expert, not answer you. So don't slide in there. Don't say anything else. Or if maybe that person's moving them forward, and that moving forward is maybe it's after the parties, and maybe that person's just ready to make a decision, or maybe they want to join the challenge, or maybe the upline expert had such a great testimony based on their health transformation that person wants to join up on a kit. Great. Sounds to me like you're best suited for a weight loss kit, or whatever the case may be. Let's go ahead and get you enrolled now, so we can get your product to your house. Can we go ahead and do it right now? Stay quiet. Silence is deliberate. Just remember, when promoting, the one who talks first usually loses. So let's make sure that the person that we're trying to help move them forward does the talking when they are asked the question. So I hope this helps out a little bit. Just remember, this should not be awkward. This should be friendly. Basically, all you're doing is bringing an expert in to relate to somebody that you care about, that has more information than you do. Hey, if it was me and I'm the guest, or I'm the prospect in the matter, I would much rather hear from somebody that's an expert educate me a little bit more on why I should be doing something, rather than hearing it directly from my friend that I've known for the last 10 years that I know personally and inside probably doesn't know much about this stuff. So please make sure this is normal. I think, and let it work for you. There's plenty of people out there that are willing to get on a three-way phone call. Just make sure that you set up an appropriate time, talk to your upline expert beforehand. Don't ambush them and jump on and say, hey, I've got Joe on the phone right now. I need to put you on the phone right away. I mean, the upline expert could be having dinner with his family or whatever the case may be. Just make sure that it's professional, set up, book the times appropriately. And if you have any other questions about the three-way phone call, please reach out to your upline. They will walk you through the process. They'll maybe do some they'll role model with you and help you through the process. Hey, and the best way to get great at three-way calling is just do a lot of them. It's one of the best tools in the entire business. Make sure you do them 3 times a day if you possibly can. 3 a day, 3 a day, 3 a day. Hey guys, appreciate you. Thanks for your time, and good luck on your run to AD, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.